What's going on, everybody? And today's story is the best we've had yet. The best we've had yet. Welcome to everyone in chat, moderators, members, those who are just joining us and new to the channel. As you know, we've been hitting these town halls trying to uncover this rife corruption very, very hard. We've been going at it hardcore. And some of the results that we've been getting have been, just downright dirty. This one, criminal. What would you say if I was to tell you that we went to film a city hall and a employee there used hateful language? Now, the argument is hate speech, free speech. Have your argument and your disagreement all you want in chat. However, no public employee that's getting paid $30 to $50 an hour should be using any type of language like the language this guy used with the expressed intent to stop us from filming. He was using this language as prior restraint, so that way we wouldn't post the video. So we have one employee at the city hall verbally aggressively trying to stop us from filming. What do you think the chances are that we've now proved through a police report that another employee from that same city hall contacted someone and had them at their behest while in an official capacity assault us again, but physically? This is not good. Now, if you guys don't know this is Warwick City Hall. So I'm going to play a quick clip of our first incident. And guys, an arrest was made in this. The police had no choice. The city official that did this, the guy that committed the assault, arrested, charged in court. We have all the paperwork for you here. So now we're getting, the results are even bigger. So I'm at the Warwick City Hall with No Name Audits, and we bump into Homophobe Joe. And I call him Homophobe Joe because he sees us and he tries to use several homophobic slurs because he thinks, oh, well, they're not going to use the video of him using this detestful language. But, fine, have whatever free speech you want, not when you're getting paid by the public. So let's take a look at the first video where we meet Joe. It's on my channel, Mayor's Office Hemmed Up in Hate Speech, First Amendment Audit. So we'll take a quick look at this, and then I'll break down, set the stage as to how this scumbag, Chris Roy, just got arrested, is charged, and has a court date coming up in September.
I also heard your mail clerk, Joe, use homophobic hate speech because we're doing what seems like you have a problem with right now. So I was just wondering, is calling people homophobic names and hate speech part of tourism?
I have information for you.
Where can I find?
If you have a trouble code, I don't want to.
That's fine. Where can I find homophobic employees on the brochure?
You can go right here and you can go down to the mayor's office and ask them.
Which page is homophobic Joe on? Is Joe in here? Like, is that part of the welcome committee to Warwick? Yes. Come to the mailroom and get called really bad names? Oh, so it's on the travel guide. We can probably find the map to where to be insulted by a homophobic employee. Just right on the travel guide.
I'm pissed. What are you doing?
Oh, that's good. We're not. You can do whatever you want.
I'm taking my picture.
I'm already taking your picture. You're on camera, buddy. Huh? What did he say? He said, "Don't take my picture. Don't be a jerk to me." What is going on here? Is this for real?
Yeah, I told you. You feel like you're.
Is this for real?
No, you for real.
I am for real. Pinch me. I'm real. I have a life. It's filming you right now.
I don't want to be filmed.
So you work for the city?
I do. I don't want to be filmed.
Oh, you work for the city. I'm going to check back in by Friday to see what's happened with Joe. If homophobe Joe is still on staff, we're going to send a notice of intent to the city of Warwick for the negligent supervision of Joe. and for his use of homophobic hate speech as a way to deter our First Amendment right. Just so you guys know.
We will
Okay.
follow up with the personnel director and we'll see what his investigation.
All right, perfect. Well, all joking.
All right, so that is the first video with homophobe Joe. He sees us coming down the hallway and he yells out a homophobic slur starting with F and ending with T. So, and say what you want, but you're working on the public dime. You're making like $40 an hour, not to harass members of the public and try and stop them from filming. That's not what you're there for, Joe. So, No Name goes back. And he goes back to film again. Oh, another important part of this video. So homophobe Joe is one of the people that you saw in a starring role in this video. Let's fast forward to Megan. Okay, because Megan's an important person to remember here. So this is Megan. She's the one that sent the drunken maniac to try and assault us. And we have that proof as well because the drunken maniac, Chris Roy, threw her under the bus. So let's see what Megan did. This is the one that called the assaulter.
You mind telling me what your name is and what you do in this office there, please? You don't want to?
No, for domestic violence, actually, you guys should fill me and I'm gonna contact my lawyer because I'm not ready for domestic violence. So we'll see this on social media. And I really don't want to.
Well, I mean, listen, you work for the public,
Yeah.
so
But I could call my lawyer after this.
Okay,
Yeah.
definitely call your lawyer.
I'm me,
And I'm him.
and he's us.
We're together.
We're together.
So that's Megan right there, folks. Now, Megan says, you can't film me. Go be verbally harassed and have your rights restricted and be priorly restrained by homophobic Joe, but don't film me. And she says, well, don't film me because I'm a victim of domestic violence. First of all, you don't want I'm sorry that happened to her if it did. It seemed like she tells quite a few tales though. But if that is a secret for you, don't tell people. You don't want to be on film. You don't want people to know what's going on. Don't walk up to the guy with a camera and be like, hey, over here. Don't put me on camera. I'm a victim of domestic violence. I'm sorry that happened to you, but you're in a public capacity. Don't tell me something that I didn't know. Well, we fill out a records request is what we did. We filled out a records request to figure out what's going to go. And then we, of course, went and spoke to the deputy mayor, who is the woman that you saw in the video. And we told them we wanted answers. And if homophobe Joe still had a job, we were going to pursue a lawsuit against them civilly. As you guys know, we follow through on our promises. So look what happens next. No Name goes the next day to follow up on the records request because we're not hearing back from anybody. And this guy shows up. But he shows up looking for AFA is what he shows up looking for. Okay, folks, he thought that he was coming to find accountability for all. So then this is what happens. He's at the place filming again. The same woman, Megan, is outside and she calls the person that you're about to see. Then we'll drop the police report and the bomb on you. By the way, this stuff ain't cheap. If you'd like to help, paypal.me/accountability for all or Cash App $AFAYT. You're not required to help, but any help is appreciated. As you guys can see, we do a ton of records requests. We hire lawyers for everything as soon as our rights are stepped on. So we always appreciate it. Super chats as well, appreciate you. But let's go into the assault now.
On the phone?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll let it go. You guys have a good day. You guys have been very well to ask because they like to retaliate against me in so many different ways. You guys know the mailman, Joe? You guys know the mailman, Joe? You guys know the mailman, Joe? You guys know the mailman, Joe?
All right,
Since we're
guys.
here, we gotta run you. You have ID?
All right, so there you have it. Now, the question is, who is this crazy person? Why does he show up to randomly attack No Name? Who is he looking for? What is the purpose of his visit? The police showed up. AFA got the police report. Now Warwick is in even bigger hot water. What do you think the chances are that the very same woman from the first video that told us we couldn't film called and had her evil henchman, who Intel is telling us also works for the city, calls and says, hey, they're filming. Come take care of them. Well, if you're guessing that there's a pretty high likelihood, you're not even close to fucking wrong. So let's pull it up on because I'm all about the proof. And AFA could be wrong here. AFA could be spinning a tale for you guys. AFA doesn't want to do that. AFA wants complete and total truth and transparency. So let's pull up the report here. Oh, you guys are so screwed, Warwick. Not a great day for Warwick. It might be a little hard for you to read that, so I'm going to read along. Folks, you're looking at the police report, and I'm going, oh, thank you so much, Journalist Red. Really appreciate that, Journalist Red. Thanks so much. Dan Johnson, my pleasure. I was not the only person to help with that. Shout out to Sweet Tea, Heather Holt, Smo Diego for being behind the scenes. And really Smo sent all the money. I only put up about 300. Those guys were all a major part of him being free. So let's not forget that. But let's look at what happened. And this is probably the best proof I've had of retaliation. Let's take a look at this. Okay. Now this is from the Warwick Police Department. On 11/17 at approximately 16:39, officers Gray and Stone responded to the City Hall Annex at 65 Centerville Road for a report of an injured party. City maintenance employee was the reporting party. Okay, so the city maintenance employee, he's injured apparently. Well, let's read. As I arrived in the parking lot, I was approached by William Blair, who identified himself as the victim or injured party. That's No Name. William stated that he was at the City Hall Annex to speak with a city official. William had, let me hold it this way so it's easier to see. I'm going to hold it this way. Let me tip it. Oh, this is much better. William stated that he was at the City Hall Annex to speak with a city official. William had video recorded all interactions on his phone while in the annex. He mentioned that he was filming content for his YouTube page, No Name Audits. William told me that he was walking on the second floor of the building and was about to go down the stairs to the lobby when he was assaulted. The attacker was described as a heavy-set male, just over 6 foot tall, middle-aged, sporting a beard. The suspect was reportedly wearing a black ball cap and a black Under Armour sweatshirt. This is going to blow your mind. The guy literally rats out the employee that sent him to do this. What's even worse, we might have stumbled along some fidelity issues because drunk people shouldn't talk to the cops. Let's continue to read. At the time of the assault, William was walking with his phone in hand, recording and holding his phone in a manner where the average person would understand that he is recording a picture or video. William stated that the suspect grabbed his phone from his hand, put it into the suspect's pocket. The suspect struck William in the arm, possibly the right arm, and choked him. After the physical assault, the suspect asked William, "You want your phone?" Then removed it from his pocket and smashed it on the ground. According to William, the suspect then told him that he was fucking with his family and followed William out the main entry-exit door of the annex building. During this incident, a second party was with the suspect, described as a white male, around 6 foot tall with a shaved head. This party was wearing a white t-shirt. William observed both men get into a white Nissan Altima and drive away from the parking lot. William gave the vehicle's plate as Rhode Islander passenger plate. William did not request any medical attention. I checked his arms, neck, and face for injuries or marks, but did not observe any. Okay. Now I'm just putting this stuff up on the screen for you to read this. We haven't even got to the good part yet. It's bad, but it's so good. It's so juicy because now we literally have government officials while they're at work, while they're in the city hall, while we're complaining about being verbally aggressively attacked, we're now being physically attacked. And this guy thought he was coming for me. You came for me, buddy. You would have a much different time than what No Name gave you. I promise you that, Chris Roy. I mean, people have the right to defend themselves. You know what I mean? Like, I'm flabbergasted that this drunk fool just will take a phone call from a city official and go assault citizens because they're exhibiting their rights. Let's continue. Around this time, William's mother walked over to me and claimed that the phone, which had been destroyed, had belonged to her. She stated that she came to the City Hall annex with her son so she could conduct some business also. While inside, William mentioned that his phone battery was dying and he asked to borrow hers. She obliged and lent William her phone. She left the building to go to Cumberland Farms next door. Now, this is all stuff about her IMEI and the stuff on the phone because he was charged with destruction of property and vandalism. Let's see the next part. He spoke to a second party who identified himself as the calling party. Now, this is the janitor that was standing right there. He stated that he works for the city and observed the incident occur. He was at the top of the stairs and observed the suspect and a second male come up the stairs and assault William. So now the on-duty custodial worker is what? Now, it's important to remember that because we're going to go over the statement from Chris Roy, the assaulter, and we'll see what he has to say happened. He was at the top of the stairs and observed the suspect and a second male come up the stairs and assault William. He couldn't articulate the assault or go further into detail. Haley did observe the phone that William was holding to have been smashed on the floor by the suspect. He described the suspect as a white male, over 6 foot tall, with a longer beard and sporting a black hoodie. The other party was described as a white male with shaved head wearing a t-shirt. To the next part. Oh, man, you guys got me fucked up because I'm reading this and it's absolutely crazy. So let's go to, all right, that's page 1. Now let us go to page 2. All right, here we go. Let's read page 2. William mentioned that since he was live streaming everything inside of the annex footage, the suspect would be available on his YouTube page. William was able to obtain a screen grab of the footage, which depicted a white male with a dark colored beard wearing a black Under Armour sweatshirt with white lettering and a plain black baseball cap. William sent this photograph to my department email so I could view it. In the picture, the male had his hands towards William's camera. William mentioned that he vaguely remembered the male as someone he had gone to high school with. He gave the name as Christopher Roy and approximated him to be in his early 40s. William stated that he would like to press charges for assault. William completed a statement which were submitted into records. At the time that this incident occurred, the City Hall Annex was open for business and a mix of city employees and members of the public were inside conducting business. From all accounts, it appeared that the noisy and tumultuous manner of the assault had disrupted the normal order in the building and caused alarm. Officer Gray and I cleared the scene. Back at headquarters, I contacted the Ryletts cross-agency query involved in the vehicle. It was shown that the RO was an older female with the last name of Manson. So they're just running the vehicle. I was able to find the live stream where William had posted to a video YouTube account by the name of No Name Audits. The video was titled Follow Up at City Hall. I watched the 19 minutes and 19-second long video. The majority of the video is William's interaction with employees in the building. At 9 minutes, 14 seconds, William can be seen walking towards the stairs on the second floor. At this time, Stephen can be seen beyond the stairs cleaning something. Roy can be seen walking up the stairs towards William. No words were exchanged by William or Roy. In the video, I observed Roy shoving his left hand towards William's phone before the screen goes black at 19 minutes and 18 seconds. No further audio or video was available. I contacted Detective McMullen to save the video. He was able to do a screen recording of the video. He later saved the video to a DIMS and made a CD copy. I then compiled a photo array showing Roy and 5 other similar looking people. The photos were chosen and compiled according to department policy. I had Officer Reddy respond to William's address and present the photo pack to him. Officer Reddy was not otherwise involved in the call and had no familiarity with the subject. Please see Officer Reddy's narrative for further information. As a result of the photo array, William picked out photo number 5, 100% positivity that it was the suspect who assaulted him and broke the phone. The person in photo number 5 was Christopher Roy. Please see the attached photo array, instructions from and to and for. I determined that there was probable cause to arrest Roy for assaulting William, vandalizing Kathleen's phone, and committing disorderly conduct at the City Hall Annex. I made Lieutenant Viveros aware of my finding. Let's take a look at what Christopher Roy had to say about this whole incident. Hold on here. Let me pull up the Roy one. I'm going to leave out some addresses. I'm going to extend Roy more courtesy than he extended the First Amendment. Keep in mind, he did this thinking it was me that he was coming after. And I'm sorry if he posted super chats. I'm going to read them in just a second. Roy lived at blank in West Warwick. West Warwick PD was contacted and requested to send out an officer to assist in the arrest. Officer Gray and I proceeded to the area of Davis Ave and made Officer Jarvis, number 114, aware of the situation. We went to the address and knocked on the door. A family member of Roy greeted us and summoned Roy for us. We asked to speak with him about an incident that occurred earlier. Roy voluntarily came out to the front yard to speak with me. Let me hold this sideways. That'll probably make it a little bit easier. Oh, much better. Okay. I questioned him as we stood in the driveway of his residence. He was not cuffed. He had not been searched, and he had not been told that he was detained at this point. He gave all statements freely. I asked Roy if he was at Warwick City Hall Annex today, and he said that he was. He went there to help a friend. I asked him if anything noteworthy occurred during his time there. He mentioned that he went to help his friend, Megan. Well, Megan is the woman that you saw saying, "Don't film me. You can't film me. I won't be filmed. Let me call someone to stop you from filming." That's Megan. Keep an eye out for that, and let's continue with the story because we're going to have to circle back to Megan in just a second. Help his friend Megan, whom he believed was afraid and was hiding from the person filming at the annex. Roy mentioned that this person had been there days before and that Roy went to high school with this person and was familiar with them. Thanks so much, Russell Thomas. Really appreciate that. And he was familiar with them. Roy said he walked inside, went upstairs. Let me take this off the screen. Walked inside, went upstairs, and encountered William at the top of the stairs. He said William got, and I quote, violent with him. He got violent with you. And this is a drunk idiot talking to the cops, thinking that he attacked me, trying to now tell the cops that it was someone else that attacked him. He said that William got violent with him, but couldn't articulate what this meant. Roy then admitted to attacking him, taking his phone, smashing it on the ground. At this point, I told Roy he was under arrest, and I placed his hands behind his back. I cuffed him, 2 sets, double locked them, and checked for tightness. I searched Roy and placed him in the rear of car 15. I noted that at the time of the arrest, Roy was wearing a black sweatshirt with white Under Armour lettering on it, appearing to be the same one he was seen wearing, attacking William in the video. Nice. Great job, Warwick. I mean, the cops did well. Warwick City Hall. Officer Gray and I transported Roy back to Warwick PD headquarters for booking. I verbally advised him of his Miranda warnings at 20:54 hours. Roy stated that he understood. Roy kept talking on his own and said that he was trying to help out his friend and that I would have done the same thing. He mentioned that the person he was with at the City Hall Annex was indeed Nicholas, the other person. Back at headquarters, Roy was turned over to jailer Costa, who searched him, photographed, and fingerprinted him. At 21:41 hours, I advised Roy of his Miranda rights, reading them from a pre-printed department form. Roy was given the form to read over and agreed that he understood his rights, and he still wanted to speak with me. Officer Enos was present and witnessed the form being read. Roy completed the witness statement where he referenced being called by a friend by the name of Megan, and that she was in fear and hiding, and she needed help because she was being filmed. She was in fear and she needed help because she was being filmed. Okay. He did not explain any further. This statement was later submitted into records. Listen to this. I noted that while dealing with Roy, his breath smelled of liquor. He slurred his speech and had trouble understanding basic instructions. Wait a second. Uh-oh, AFA found something. Roy was released around 2200 hours. He was given a third district court summons in hand explaining when, where, and what time to appear. He was released to a sober party. Megan. So let me understand this. We know from reading the police report that good old Megan, the good old Meggie Poo, didn't want us filming. So in the first video, she tells us that we can't film. She's going to contact her lawyer. We're at the city hall because someone verbally tried to restrict our rights to film. And while we're at the city hall, redressing our grievances, conducting business because someone verbally restricted our rights to film, the very same employee, the very same one, then calls someone, tells him, they're filming me. I'm in danger because of this. Come help me. And then this drunken moron comes to the city hall at her behest, attacks him, thinking that it's me. Let's point out some interesting matter of facts here. Christopher Roy says in his statement that Megan, and I'll be nice and leave her last name out of it, that Megan was just some friend from high school. He hadn't talked to Megan in years. He ain't even talked to Megan. So what? The person that bails this guy out and picks him up from the drunk tank, she accepts him as a sober party. Megan. I ain't seen him for years. Would it be fair for me to assume, now I'm not throwing any jackets that might not fit, but my brain is just turning just a little bit, Megan. Just a little bit, Chris. Chris is arrested at home, or is questioned at home with his family present. Why didn't his fiance, his girlfriend, go pick him up from the police station? And how often does someone that was a friend of yours, an acquaintance in high school that you haven't spoken to in years, call you and say, hey, listen, I know we haven't spoken like 25 years. Missed you at the last, the last high school reunion. By the way, we danced to Fat Joe. Anyways, some dudes over her filming. It's bad. I'm in danger. Come take care of this for me. You don't. You call someone you know. You call the police. She didn't. She called him, even though she hasn't spoken to him. And that same woman who he hasn't spoken to for years and is just this high school acquaintance is the same person that picks him up, bails him out, takes him home. Me thinks that something might be going on here, and I don't know if something's going on. I don't know if it is. And if something's going on, and I don't know if it is, and Chris's girlfriend don't know about it, I don't know. But some investigations should be done here. But what we have is something very, very bad. You have here's how we're criminalizing filming. She put this guy in danger, and alternatively me, because from the intel that I have, they went there with the understanding that he was coming to confront accountability for all, was the person he thought he was coming to film. He was so shit-faced, who knows if he even still knows that it wasn't me that he assaulted. He assaulted somebody else. He might not know who he assaulted because he was hammered. But you have a city official calling this guy and saying, listen, I'm in fear. I'm in danger. They're filming. This guy's drunk. He's not in the right frame of mind. He thinks she's in she could call the police. Why didn't she call the police? Because the police would have been like, you're not in danger, because you can't be in danger because he's filming. That's not a dangerous activity. It's a constitutionally protected activity. However, they called the police the day before and the police didn't respond. They were already on notice from Warwick PD that what was being done there was legal and it was in the course of our constitutionally protected rights. So she didn't. She called someone else. It's like what happened here is like you calling the police and saying, oh my God, this is dangerous guy here. We're all in danger. When all I'm doing is holding a camera. And then the police show up, they SWAT you, you wind up getting shot. And then they realize that you were just there holding the camera and they say, well, you didn't tell us they were engaging in a constitution protected activity. You said that you were in danger. That's exactly what happened here. Megan is negligent. I'm going to call her negligent Meg, because Megan is surely negligent. Negligent, hashtag negligent, hashtag blessed. So negligent calls this guy and says, come on down here. I'm in danger. He's filming and I'm in fear. So this guy runs there. He runs up the stairs and he literally assaults this kid. So not only is this guy in legal trouble, I mean, he literally was arrested and charged. He has a court date coming up in the first couple weeks of December. But that's conspiracy. Welcome, Tim. Welcome, new member Tim. Thank you so much. This is conspiracy. This is a serious crime. Negligent is literally because the police won't stop us from filming. She's now contacting her side piece or her friends or her high school roommate's goldfish's friend that walked her turtle, that made a chicken pot pie once for that dinner that time. And she's just saying, listen, come down here, take care of that. And now members of the public, you have a serious problem when city officials don't like the answers the police give them. And then they take the law into their own hands. This is literally vigilantism. But you can make an excuse for some vigilantes because some vigilantes are fun to watch. So today I got the police report. So I called Warwick again. I submitted ye old records request. And they still hadn't got back to me. So I contacted Warwick. And they said, oh, we can't give you your records requests. We can't respond to them, blah, 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 blah. And I sent them a copy of this video, the link to it. And then I got this records like minutes later, literally minutes later. So this is really funny. I think you guys will all enjoy this very much because this is AFA trolling at its like best. Oh, by the way, it's titled Sad Citizen. Can you guys see that? Sad Citizen? Because I normally type this stuff. I normally sign my name as good citizen, but I explained that normally I'm good citizen, but today I had my rights violated and people are calling me names. So I'm no longer good citizen. I'm sad citizen. So she literally responded to my records request as sad citizen. But she writes, sad citizen, to whom it may concern, I'm responding to you regarding your access to public records request from November 14th, 2022 for information from the city of Warwick. See attached, blah, blah, blah. This is what they cited to not give me my records. The description of the employee is vague. Therefore, we cannot complete this request. Okay. So do you guys want to know what my description of the citizen, my description of the employee was? I know you want to know. I know you definitely want to know. All right. So I requested name sad citizen, personnel file for homophobe Joe. I don't understand how I couldn't have been more poignant, how I could have been more descriptive. I'm looking for the personnel file for homophobe Joe. I mean, it's not that hard. 50,000 people have seen the video. We know there's only one employee walking around there calling members of the public that word, and it's homophobe Joe. Joe is famous now. I mean, people from public are randomly stopping him and referring him to homophobe Joe. That's his name. What do you want from me? I mean, they didn't respond saying they couldn't give me my records because my name was Sad Citizen. Well, I'll tell you what, if my name's changed, it's less than Enthused Citizen. So now we're at where we're at now. So here's what we have to do. Here's the next step. So now, again, lawyers for days. Johnston, Rhode Island, lawyer. Who else? I literally just, I can't tell you guys about that one. Johnston, Rhode Island, lawyer. Boston Police Department successfully sued. If you guys haven't seen that video, yeah, I got that cop smoked. This is what we need to do. We need to redress our grievances. We cannot allow this type of behavior to perpetuate and continue. So now we get an attorney, okay? And we don't just sue. And here's what we want to do. This guy's already been criminally charged. We don't just want to sue Joe, okay? We want to sue the city of Warwick for the negligent supervision of Joe. We also want to sue Megan and Chris separately, but we want to sue Megan and Chris for violate. Now, here's the thing with Megan, you can get her for a 1983 USC, deprivation of rights. Now, this isn't the normal 1983 USC where you have a cop taking your camera from you. It's a little bit different, but this is very clear that a city official attempted to obstruct and restrain a First Amendment activity by use of force. Now, the problem that she engaged in criminal conspiracy to get someone else to vis-a-vis Chris Roy to utilize that force, same thing. It's like one cop calling another cop and saying he's filming, take his phone. Both cops are getting sued. That's negligence, first of all. Number two, it's a violation of it's a deprivation of his rights. We can't get Chris for a deprivation of rights because Chris wasn't acting in an official capacity that night. However, we do have our intel that says that he's also employed through the city. And then secondly, criminal charges. I mean, I'm telling you, the FBI or the state police in Rhode Island, look at this video. They're going to see something very clear because this guy was so drunk, he didn't know. And, I don't know why he hates activists so much. If he watched my goddamn videos, he'd hear me tell him to never talk to the fucking cops. So if he watched my video, then he wouldn't have talked to the cops. He probably wouldn't have got arrested. They probably would have swept it under the rug. And he probably wouldn't have ratted on his friend, who might be his girlfriend that was a high school acquaintance that he's best friends with that he doesn't know. And if that doesn't make any sense to you, well, you can't really make sense of a nonsensical situation. You can't be reasonable with someone that is unreasonable. So then that's the next bet. And you know what, guys? This is the Warwick City Hall in Warwick, Rhode Island. If you find that acceptable behavior, then fine. If you think it's okay for employees to, the police wouldn't stop him from filming, so I'm just going to call some drunk dude and have him attack somebody. If you think that's good behavior for the money that you're handing out for these employees, good. Enjoy. People like myself are always going to be here to expose them. But if you think that's unacceptable behavior, you have the right to redress your grievances. I will say that the Warwick Police Department did well here. They covered every point of this investigation from beginning to end. And I think that, and I'm just taking a shot in the dark here, I think a conversation may have taken place at roll call, or maybe we just got a good cop, where it was like, listen, we don't want to appear as if we're one-sided. So give this guy a fair shake. So, if he doesn't get what he wants, at least we can say we did our best. It just turned out that this drunk dude that got called by this overzealous, tyrannical Karen, megalomaniac Megan, they did the wrong thing. And now we have proof that city officials, when they don't and it's the double thug phone call. That's what that is, folks. The double thug phone call. Okay? They called one set of thugs, i.e. the police. They called the first set of thugs and said, hey, thugs A, they're filming. Come assault them and take them away. Thugs A said, yeah, no, we can't today. We beat up too many folks today, so we're going to have to leave them. She then calls Thug B, and Thug B was available. His reservation was canceled at Olive Garden, which is the fancy way that us folks say Olive Garden's reservation was canceled. He just drank like 940s of, redneck pure. And he's like, yeah, if the cops aren't available to assault someone for filming, I'm down. I got nothing to do today. And here's what I want to do. This is America's favorite game, okay? And I am nothing but a man of the people. So I would like to show you Warwick City Hall, because now they're refusing to answer questions. They're not doing anything about it. And now we have them in criminal negligence. So now here's where people get involved. Warwick City Hall. Okay. Let's take a look at this, guys. So don't go nowhere. Let's help out. And guys, if you want to super chat, help out the cause, we really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And while I am getting this ready, let me read out the super chats that we do have so far. We have Journalist Red for $9.99. No name got beat up. Dan Johnson for $200. Thanks for helping bail out that kid in Florida. Everyone helped out with that. Russell Thomas for a New Zealand $10. So thank you so much. Feel free to drop one if you'd like. My PayPal link is dropped to the top. Let's look at Warwick City Hall. Okay, so Warwick City Hall has 31 Google reviews, and they have 4.4 stars. I am going to leave a review. Write a review. I'm going to write a review. And I didn't want to do reviews for them yet because I wanted to see if they did the right thing, if they did anything. But it seems like they just doubled down and they upped the ante. Yeah, we had some guy calling you terrible names and tried to verbally aggressively restrict your First Amendment right. Screw it. We'll just have one of our employees send someone to attack you. So now we're going to one employee harasses the public while the other sends people to attack the public. Not good. So I just left my review. And guys, if you want to leave a review as well, you have every right to. That's the Warwick City Hall, and it's at 3275 Post Road in Warwick, Rhode Island. They have 31 reviews with a 4.4, and this is America's favorite game. It's called How Low Can You Go? This is our way to redress our grievances. Remember that some of these officials are elected, and if you so choose to leave a review and let them know that you're not happy with what you're seeing, then there you go. And keep in mind that they will delete these reviews. Even though these reviews are public record, they will absolutely delete them and then get their reviews reinstated, and then we will just drop them again. And here's the thing. I'm talking about the stars. How low can you go? Well, you know what? We'll never be able to go as low as these public employees go. We'll never be able to go that low. So let's refresh it, see if there's any new reviews. The page might be locked because if they started getting an influx. Okay. There's mine. I'm going to give myself a thumb. One employee harasses the public while the other sends people to attack the public. Not good. Is anyone else left? Oh, thank you, Orb Spider. Great investigative journalism. I thank you so much for that. And the links for the attack video, if you'd like to see it in a little bit more detail, the links will be in the description from No Name Audits. So let's go take another look here for the Warwick City Hall Google reviews. Oh, they're down to 4.2. Okay. All right. Now we can start reading them. This is a fun game. America loves to play. It's their favorite. Interesting place. Love the service. Definitely recommend. 1 star. From Andrew. Joseph O. a minute ago. writes, welcome to Warwick, where City Hall employee calls people slurs and other call people to assault cameraman. Oh, I like both of those. We're at 4.2. See, we just dropped them from a 4.4 to a 4.2 in America's favorite game. How low can you go? Let's see how many. Oh, now they have 37. They're down to a 3.8. You, the voting public, do not accept this type of behavior. Casey says 1 star. The staff is horrible and extremely rude. General Tuggernaut, Thug's Thug, says 1 star. I'm ashamed of your service shown. You have 2 criminal individuals working for you who committed an assault. I'm ashamed. Bradley says 1 star. Terrible employee. Just watched a couple of YouTube video. AFA rules. No, Bradley, you rule. Legends RCOH gives a 1 star. And then we have Andrew. So the last one was from Casey. Let me reset this here. See where it is now. Oh, 3.7. We dropped another one. Wow, people must not be happy with what they're seeing. Sodak is a local guide. He gives 1 star. I do this for a reason, folks. Okay, and it's a very important reason. I want to remind you that you have the power. And don't ever forget that. Okay, the government serves you. You do not serve the government. They are here for you to redress your grievances to them, not for them to complain about the grievances redressed. Okay? The tree of liberty must, at time from time, be measured with the water of the tree of liberty from time to time must be fed with the blood of patriots and tyrants. Think of what that means. It's the yin and the yang. You know, all things have to have equal balance and measure. The same as the judicial system. The justice system should be blind. It's not blind. It's rigged, and it's rigged against you. And I like to play this game just so you can see in an absolute quick second that your voice matters. It doesn't matter what you tell them, because 2 minutes ago, they had a 4.4. And right now, they have a 3.0. A 3.0. You hold the power. You are the people. You speak. Jason Hamilton, I was thinking about visiting Warwick on vacation. Will I also be called a blank, blank, blank and physically assaulted too? Hard pass for tourism in Warwick. Tony leaves a 1 star. Charles says 1 star. Horrible, horrible. They have to be held accountable. They're not above the law. Shaking my head. Andrea says, I saw a video and I've learned that someone sent a man to attack someone in the public because they didn't like what they were videotaping. You guys are seriously sick and need to get fired. David leaves 1 star. Even as a German, I think your governmental employees do not do well. David, that's awesome. DG, discussing police behavior is the norm, 1 star. Phil, 1 star. Amber, 1 star. Worthless City Hall. Mark, 1 star. Terrible public service. Rights and lefts, 1 star. Some bad apples working here. Phil, 1 star. Are you getting the picture, people? Because by the time I close out of this and I refresh it again, we're down to a 2.8. Every 60 seconds that goes by and I check this page, it changes. And the perception of these dirty public official changes because you, the people, hold that. Don't forget that. Maybe it's far contrast when you go to the polls and you say, you know what, I'm not going to vote for the president or this person or that person because 1 vote doesn't make a difference. Remember, your vote counts. Maybe not at that high of a level, but you, right now, in chat, at home, are going to make it extremely hard for Frank Bacozzi, the mayor of Warwick, to get elected again. In 5 minutes, they've dropped by 60% on their Google reviews. Let's go check back again. Less than 60 seconds ago, 2.8. And still more and more coming in. John Denicola, how dare you employ Megan to call for a person to attack a person engaged in a constitutionally protected activity? You have a woman who calls for assaults and one who calls people derogatory terms. What are we paying you for? To violate our rights? You're despicable for condoning these employees. And P.S., I screenshotted my review. This is now public record. Don't delete it. It's a violation of the First Amendment, and I won't allow you to silence my voice. And no one could have said that better than John Denicola. Are you going to be silenced? Was I going to be silenced? Was the kid filming going to be silenced? When is it okay for the government to silence you for engaging in free press? It doesn't say cost press. It doesn't say $5 to film. It doesn't say as long as Megan's okay with it and she doesn't feel like her boyfriend assaulting you. It's free press. But it's not ultimately free. People have, are, and will continue to pay the sacrifice for that freedom. They will pay the ultimate sacrifice to endure freedom so that you and your posterity can endure in a more perfect union. When they talk about the preamble to the Constitution, they used words very specifically, a more perfect union. That means we're ever changing. We're always trying to get better, but that just can't be the citizens pulling our own weight while pieces of shit that work at the Warwick City Hall get to run rampant and have people assaulted specifically because they made the mistakes of wanting to exercise the rights that they and other brave American women and people from across the world have died for. Because when we fight for our rights, you better believe that there's other countries as part of allied forces and alliances that are also giving up those rights. Let's take one more look. 2.6. Let's read two more reviews. I really like John Denicola's. Alan says, 1 star, they're so rude here. I'll never go back here. No pro. Chris says, disgusting public officials. Chris Nelson says, Megan needs fired. She just cost taxpayers possibly millions of dollars. Christopher says, they should let me choose a half star so it can be more accurate. Y'all are pathetic. I'll tell you something, folks. And don't ever forget it. These are your rights. You don't use them, you deserve to lose them. And we have sacrificed essential liberty for temporary security for far too long. Okay. 9/11 and there's drug cartels and, Hobo Joe down the street's got an AK. And we say, you know what? These rights that our forefathers have died for to instill freedom for ourselves and our descendants. I understand freedom's important. But it's also important to do other things like be able to go on an airplane on time and be able to go to my kid's soccer game and be able to get a Black Friday sale half off on my Verizon internet. When you sacrifice essential liberty for temporary security, you deserve neither. We, the people, can be partly to blame for the behavior of people like Warwick, Rhode Island at the City Hall. But we can also be the difference, okay? We need 100% compliance from our public officials at all times, at every single time. There is no question about this. Someone says, please read my review. Who is that? Because I'm going to read one more and then we're going to Nightmare Treasures. Nightmare Treasures. I don't even know which one Nightmare Treasures is unless it comes out as Nightmare Treasures. There's no Nightmare Treasures that I could see. It must come out in a different name. The last one I'll read from Firm Audits. Oh, wow. Sending someone to assault the public. Is this how you act when the public are asserting their First Amendment rights? Shame. And I screenshot this, so don't remove this comment. You guys are wonderful, wonderful people. You're all sitting here and I always say, if you don't like me, fine, write it in the comments section. This is a free speech channel. I want you to use your free speech. And I will always say, I might not agree with what you have to say, but I respect the shit out of you for saying it. We're not always going to agree on one thing or another, but what we can agree on is we're all free people. We all have rights, and no one, whether it be a city official, Karen, a police officer, or some drunken Christopher Roy, ever has the rights or the ability to restrict the rights that others have sacrificed for. How about this, Chris Roy? I want you to go find a veteran, or I want you to find a Gold Star family who lost a child in combat, and I want you to tell them the same rights their kid died for, you attacked someone over. But hey, listen, that's Warwick, Rhode Island. They were trying to reconstruct Nazi Germany, and I'll tell you one thing. They exceeded, and they exceeded well. We'll catch you on the next one. Thanks so much for being here. That's the reason I stopped you today. Later, y'all.